All right. I don't know if this is going to pertain to everybody, but this is a pretty big deal, especially if you are a Pokemon content creator or honestly just a Nintendo content creator in general. And if you are, I would highly advise tuning in onto this episode and really locking in. And you're playing in the background or not, but if you're not, I understand it. You don't, it's not really your appeal, but you still want to enjoy the video. I mean, you could still, still listen to it, support your boy. But anyways, there was a resolution to a massive, and I mean massive lawsuit with Nintendo and the companies who operate Yuzu and 𝗧𝗦. If you don't know what Yuzu and 𝗧𝗦 are essentially emulators for the 3DS and for the Nintendo Switch respectively. Sorry. If you don't know what Yuzu and 𝗧𝗦 are, they're essentially a emulator for the Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo Switch respectively, 𝗧𝗦 being the 3DS one and Yuzu being for Nintendo Switch. Now, you're probably thinking, well, this is a no-brainer. It makes sense. Why are you doing that? Well, here's the thing. Now, again, I don't condone, nor do I, am I over here saying you should pirate and stuff like that. I actually don't think you should, especially if you don't have the copy of it or have never had the copy of it. I don't think you should. But this does need to be talked about because this raises a lot of questions and flags for the future of, I don't know, content creation for a lot of people. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. But Yuzu Switch emulator creators have agreed to pay Big Daddy Nintendo $2.4 million to end the lawsuit, and the emulator will shut down, meaning they're just going to basically pay them and stop production and basically cease exist. They're going to get rid of it. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I don't know what that means if you already have the emulator, I don't know what that means. I wouldn't suggest getting it, especially I wouldn't be like, oh, get it before it runs out. Like, no, I probably wouldn't. And, Yuzu and Switch have both released statements basically saying, hey, effective immediately, we're discontinuing this product and we're not going to do that. Again, they both say they're against piracy. I'll go ahead and read what Yuzu said. It's pretty much the exact same thing, print for print of 𝗧𝗦 and Yuzu. We can put up both and you guys can read them. But I will read the Yuzu one. It says, hello users, get it, Yuzu, and 𝗧𝗦 fans. We write today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu support of 𝗧𝗦 are being discontinued effective immediately. Yuzu and its team has always been against piracy. We started the projects in good faith out of passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that because our project can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our own software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. Yes, Yuzu has been, even obviously back when 3DS was big, they still did that. But now you can use Yuzu to basically leak game content prior to actually doing it, whether it be like showing off game footage or even just, the actual script of the game. It has been known that you can do that with stuff like that. Because with an emulator, you can go, again, it emulates the entire game and the contents inside the game that make up the game, if that makes sense. It also reads, we have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we'll be pulling our code repositors off. I don't know what that means. Please somebody help. Offline. Discontinue our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' works. Thank you for years of support and for understanding our decision. And it's basically the same thing with 𝗧𝗦, what they said. But this is a big deal. I don't feel like this is gonna get talked about a lot, because if you were to go on Twitch right now, like literally, I'm just gonna pull it up myself. You go on twitch.tv. What's the first Nintendo game you see when you're browsing? You have to scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and see. The first one that pulls up is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's go ahead and take a gander. Oh, I see 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗓 right here. Yeah, they're all playing. Again, some people are probably genuinely playing the game, but there's also a lot of people doing stuff like, Nuzlocke. There's a lot of people doing stuff like Ironmons. If you don't know what those are, Nuzlocke is basically just a variant of it's rules added on to a specific game, but they don't have the game they're playing on the emulator. That could fuck up a lot of stuff. for a lot of people. That could end a lot of people's careers based on what they do. Not only that, but let's look at, let's look at Mario. Let's look at Mario speedruns. I mean, we could talk about any of the Mario games. That would cease to exist. Almost everybody, if not everybody, is playing on an emulator of that game. So what does that say for a lot of people? That they would just not be able to play it unless they buy the actual console and a capture card. This could have some devastating effects to a lot of content creators. I don't think this is going to get talked about that much, which I think it should. This is huge because, again, this doesn't just affect Yuzu and 𝗧𝗔𝗓. This could basically be like, Nintendo could basically be like, oh, well, we're going to do this. What's stopping them from going on Twitch right now and essentially being like, yo, there's no way all these people have this game. There's no way that all these people are playing a different version of the game that we never put out. A lot of the time, we've seen Nintendo has taken out a lot of ROM hacks. Which you don't know what a ROM hack is essentially a altered version of a previously released title by Nintendo. Let's just say 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔𝗓, for example, which is a variant of Pokemon Emerald. It's a harder, much harder version of Pokemon Emerald that was released to a whole bunch of people that basically just made it a skill gap between actually playing the game and like trying to test how good you are at the game. That could get shut down. Like flat out could get shut down. And again, that's not being talked about enough, which is crazy to me. This is huge. And I feel like I'm the only one that's like really like, besides my boy Dose, who brought this to my attention, because I didn't even see this. That's crazy. That's how crazy this is. Even the first Central Leaks, the tweet that I will show you of how it says Yuzu Switch emulator creators have agreed to pay $2.4 million. It's basically showing like the lawsuit that it was in the District of Rhode Island. That's honestly not that far from me, which is crazy. But like, and you can see it's the plaintiff, Nintendo of America Incorporated, versus 𝗦𝗢𝗓𝗧𝗓 LLC, the defendant, which is essentially, you know, the creators of Yuzu and 𝗧𝗓. But they came to the agreement that joint motion for entry. Plaintiff, Nintendo of America, plaintiff or Nintendo, and 𝗦𝗢𝗓𝗧𝗓 LLC, defendant or 𝗦𝗢𝗓𝗓𝗧, by and through their undersigned counsel hereby consent to judgment in favor of Nintendo and jointly move the court to enter monetary relief in the sum of US $2.4 million favoring Nintendo and against defendant. And then it says 𝗦𝗢𝗓𝗧𝗓 and Nintendo also jointly moved to the court to enter the final judgment and permanent injunction. All this basically means is just going forward and basically being finalized. But I know you're also thinking, well, Big Daddy Nintendo getting more money. Yeah, they don't need the money, but they're just money hungry. That's basically what it is. But Central Leaks also quote retweeted themselves and said, I think people aren't really grasping how big of a precedent this may become. In this lawsuit, Nintendo argued all of the following. A, that emulating any modern console is illegal. B, that hacking your own console is illegal, like hacking your Switch, hacking your 3DS, stuff like that, you know, putting stuff like that. And then C, that dumping your own ROMs from games you bought is illegal. So let's say you buy a game and you dump the contents of that game, basically what makes up the game and what makes up ROMs is illegal. You can't do that. That's what they're saying. Now, there's a whole bunch of people saying there's no precedent because there was a settlement, but then the guy saying settling is a precedent. It was basically going back and forth, and people were just going back and forth. But this does leave kind of a precedent that Nintendo could really just do this to anybody. Again, I advise against it, but if you are going to do this, you really, and I mean really, need to be fucking careful. And I would strongly advise, if you do stuff like that, let's say you do Nuzlocke and stuff like that, you really need to be careful. You probably should delete it. You know what I mean? So emulation is in a dark age right now for stuff like, for obviously, again, don't download 𝗧𝗓 and Yuzu, but even Dolphin, which is how you would play, how you do the Mario speedruns. I would just be careful. And I would really think twice of what you do with emulation, if you even should do that. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about this decision and you know, everything that transpired from this lawsuit. Let me know down in the comment section below, because this is insane, actually insane. But I'm gonna get up out of here. You know, and you know what I say? Don't please don't do drugs, please. But don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment, please. Okay, bye. Don't do drugs. Bye.